Okay, so real quick, I want to do a review of this AFE Stage 2 open air intake system. I put this on 4 or 5 days ago, and I went on a long trip to Tampa, Florida. Just came back here in North Carolina, and I basically want to do a test to see if an aftermarket air system really makes a difference, particularly in fuel mileage. AFE claims, this is the dry filter, claims 65% increase in airflow. S&B claims 54% with the dry filter, and as you know with S&B, you gotta do a lot of things like relocate the battery. It's like 2 hours worth of labor, and it's not worth it. The AFE is easy, it's a 20-minute install. So I just came back, did my fuel mileage calculations. I'll add a quick little video about that, but my fuel mileage did not increase. It stayed the same. Performance-wise, really I didn't really feel anything. So I'm actually returning the truck back to stock because I actually like the stock air filter. Ford's design is really good. And I'll get to the fuel mileage piece. I'll show you what the numbers are compared to previous Tampa trips, and there's been really no change. So is an aftermarket air system worth it? I don't know. My experience is this didn't really do anything. So, and I'm returning to stock, and also changing out the air filter is a lot easier on a stock system, and I'll get to that soon here. But I'm gonna put everything back to stock, and I'll be right back. All right, so the stock intake is back on the truck. Took about 20 minutes, probably less than that. And look, I didn't have to relocate the battery. Like, it didn't take 2 hours to put everything back to stock. So up next, I'll do the fuel mileage review of the Tampa trip. Again, really no change, so yeah, so stand by. Okay, as promised, I want to do a comparison between previous Tampa trips to the one I just completed. You can see right here, this Tampa trip, this is with the stock intake. Look at that, going down. So I left on 14th of February, drove down to Tampa. I usually fill up twice, so I fill up, usually when I get to Jacksonville, I fill up, and then from Jacksonville to Tampa, I fill up when I get to Tampa. So you see right here, I got 19.2 miles to the gallon going down, 20 on the first trip, on the first fill up. The second fill up, 20.5 miles to the gallon. Then I did some in-town driving, from basically the 15th to 16th, and I filled up again on the 17th before I make my way back. The 17th, so driving back to Tampa. You see the first fill up, 21.4 miles to the gallon. The second one, 19.9 miles to the gallon. I made a little detour, went to South Carolina as well. Got home on the 18th of February, really early in the morning, and got 18 miles to the gallon. That's with the stock intake. So you can see my highest was 21.4. And then we'll do this trip here. This time I went to South Carolina first. So you see a little detour there, starting on the 21st of March. Got to South Carolina, 17.7 miles to the gallon. So it's actually a little bit less. Did some, stuff in South Carolina. Second fill up on the 21st of March, 19 miles to the gallon. And then when I finally got to Tampa, 21.8 miles to the gallon. Pretty good, 21.8. In-town driving in and around Tampa, 16 miles to the gallon. On the way back, first trip, first fill up, 20 miles to the gallon. And then my last one, finally arriving here at Fayetteville, North Carolina, 19.5 miles to the gallon. So you see here, stock AFE. There's really no difference. If anything, there's a slight decrease, a little bit. My highest was 21.8, but nothing really significant to write home about. So the stock intake really does a better job. I mean, you can see the stock intake I got consistently better overall. 19.2, 21, 20.5, 16.8 in town, 21.4, 19.9, and 18.1. And this one here, 17.7, 19, 21.8, 16, 20, and 19.5 miles per gallon. So those are the numbers. I mean, you can't, numbers don't lie. And I went ahead and, as you saw, I put everything back to stock. So I think the stock system is a lot better. The stock paper filter will filter more junk out and still get good airflow. I mean, the Ford, R&D folks, they spent a lot of time, money, and research and development to create a system that will maximize the, get as much air as possible into the truck, while at the same time meeting, EPA regulations and blah, 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 and so forth. So, but yeah, there you go.